At 2:47 p.m. on a Tuesday, police handcuffed my sister at her real estate office for stealing $1.6 million from our parents' estate, money she claimed never existed. The man who exposed her 12-year lie was our grandfather, who she'd told me was dead. At 2:47 p.m. on a Tuesday, police handcuffed my sister at her real estate office for stealing $1.6 million from our parents' estate, money she claimed never existed. She has exactly 3 weeks to notice I'm hunting her, and if she does, my only chance at restitution dies right there. I love the sister who raised me, and I hate the stranger who stole my life. I held the thick manila folder in my hand. The folder rests on my lap like contraband, like it can brand me through my skirt if anyone looks too long. And I'm not supposed to have it yet. Not on a city bus rattling down Scottsdale roads. Not while I'm doing math in my head, $900 for the car repair, $38,000 a year, rent due in 6 days, and my checking account already wheezing. That morning starts the way Scottsdale always does. Sunlight like a spotlight, and prices like a threat. My studio still smells like old coffee and laundry soap. Stoner real estate smells like eucalyptus and money. And I'm the one who keeps that lobby breathing. I'm the one who lines up closings, prints disclosures, refills the complimentary coffee, and apologizes when agents stroll in late like time is for other people. Vanessa never rushes. Vanessa glides. Fresh blowout, designer dress, keys to a white Porsche Cayenne that sits out front like a medal. The bus jerks to a stop, and an elderly man steps on, slow enough that every stare looks like it might win. His hand trembles on the rail. The driver sighs. People stare at their phones like compassion costs extra. I don't look away. He's in a tan sport coat that's pressed but dated, and he's gripping a hard-sided briefcase stuffed at the corners. When the bus lurches, the briefcase slides and his fingers don't close fast enough. I'm on my feet before I can talk myself out of it. "Here," I say, catching the handle. Cold metal bites my palm. "Want me to set it on the seat?" He blinks up at me, eyes sharp under watery lashes. "Thank you. I'm not steady anymore." "Take my spot," I tell him, even though it means I'll have to shove through bodies later and risk being late.
"It's fine." He hesitates, pride fighting gravity, then sits like his knees made the call. The briefcase lands between us, heavy enough to feel important. A strip of masking tape runs along the top, and the name is written in block letters. Theodore Brennan. He notices me reading it and flips the latches open just a crack to slide out a folded bus schedule, but not before I catch the edge of stacked papers inside, squared and organized like someone built a case. He catches me catching it. Something tight moves across his face. I scramble for neutral. "You headed downtown?" He nods once. "To a real estate office. Stoner Real Estate." My throat closes around the name. "That's where I work," I manage. His head tilts. "You do?" "Office manager," I add, like that explains why I'm on public transit instead of driving something that needs a $900 fix. He studies me a beat too long, then turns to the window like he's mapping the route with his eyes. "I'm Theodore," he says. "Leia," I answer, and the way he flinches is so small I almost pretend I didn't see it. The air conditioner rattles, spitting cold air that smells faintly of rubber and sunscreen.
For a moment, the only sound is tires slapping road seams, a steady thud-thud, like a heartbeat that doesn't know what's coming. He clears his throat. Do you know the owner, Vanessa Stoner?" "My sister," I say automatically, the word tasting like obligation. His grip tightens on the briefcase. "Then I'd appreciate it if you'd walk in with me." "Sure," I say, because that's what I do.
I smooth, I guide, I make things easy for everyone else, even when nothing is easy for me. We step off at the plaza stop, and he moves slower than the crowd, but he never releases the briefcase. I match his pace across the parking lot where Vanessa's white Porsche is parked right up front, like the world reserved her a spot. Theodore's eyes lock on the Cayenne, then the office sign, then me. "Thank you," he says again, but this time it lands like a receipt I haven't agreed to sign. I pull open the glass door and we walk into Stoner Real Estate together. The lobby looks staged for a magazine shoot. Cream couch, glass coffee table, a bowl of green apples nobody eats. The brushed metal logo behind reception gleams like a promise. Stoner Real Estate. I slide behind the desk, set my tote down, and force my voice into its professional shape. Theodore stays standing, both hands on the briefcase like it's the only thing keeping him upright. "Good morning," I say. "Do you have an appointment with Miss Stoner?" His gaze doesn't touch me. It stays on the hallway to Vanessa's office. "No, but she'll see me." Vanessa's door opens like she heard the challenge. She appears in heels that click like punctuation, hair glossy, lipstick perfect, phone already in her hand. She takes one look at Theodore and something cracks, just for a blink, like a startled animal peeking out from behind her mask. Then it's gone. "Good morning," Vanessa says, bright as a commercial. "How can I help you?" Theodore doesn't sit. He doesn't smile. He reaches into the briefcase and pulls out a thick manila folder, then places it on my counter with a soft, deliberate thud that feels louder than it should. "My name is Theodore Brennan," he says. "I'm your father's father." Vanessa lets out a quick laugh, too practiced to be real. "That's not possible." Theodore's eyes cut to me. "She told you I was dead." My lungs forget their job. Vanessa's gaze snaps to me, sharp as a warning. "Don't you dare." She tries again, softer, like she's calming a child. "Sir, I think you're confused." Theodore opens the folder. Photos in clear sleeves, printed emails, a typed report with a private investigator's letterhead. At the top is a logo, an eye inside a square, and a date from last month. He slides one photo across to Vanessa, him outside a post office, holding a newspaper with the date visible. "Not dead," he says. Vanessa doesn't touch it. Her manicured nails stay flat on the counter, perfectly still. The lobby's AC clicks. Then the fan quiets, and the sudden near silence presses against my ears. Theodore pulls out another document, a death certificate. My stomach drops until I see the name. Leah Stoner. Cause of death, automobile accident. Date, 12 years ago. A sound comes out of me that isn't language. Vanessa's smile twitches, then sets into something colder. "Where did you get that?" "You told him I died," I whisper, staring at my own name like it belongs to someone else. Theodore's voice stays steady, but his hands shake as he turns pages. "After my son died with his wife, you told me your sister died too. You mailed me a memorial card. You sent me a photo of a grave?" He slides out a glossy card with a black border and my face on it, in loving memory. My own senior portrait. My vision tunnels like the room is narrowing to a single point. Vanessa pushes the folder away like it's poison. Leia, back to your desk. I don't move, and she knows it. Theodore leans forward, and his clean, old-fashioned aftershave cuts through the eucalyptus scent like a line drawn in ink. I hired an investigator because your grief story never held. I never saw a hospital, never heard from a doctor. Every time I asked questions, she said it was too painful. Vanessa's jaw tightens. You're doing this here, in front of everyone? You did it to protect your money, Theodore says, and the word money changes the air, not your grief. Vanessa's eyes flick down to my name badge and back up, like she's weighing how hard she can squeeze me. Leia, please? Please, like I'm the problem standing in her way. Theodore taps the investigator's report. She took control of the estate. She took the insurance, and she kept you poor so you'd never ask why. My throat burns. Vanessa told me there were debts. She said there was almost nothing.
She gave me $15,000. Vanessa's voice snaps sharp, because that's what you were entitled to. Theodore's stare doesn't budge. The estate was worth more than that, and she knows it. He gathers the folder back into the briefcase, but leaves one page on my counter. Bank names, dates, a summary line, financial discrepancies, possible fraud. Vanessa's face goes smooth again, but there's a hairline crack in it now, and I can't unsee it. Theodore turns to me. Hampton on McDowell. Tonight. If you want the truth, come. If you don't, keep making coffee for the woman who buried you on paper. He walks out slowly, but he doesn't look fragile anymore. He looks like a man who waited 12 years and decided he was done waiting. Vanessa holds herself until the glass door clicks shut. Then she leans towards me over the counter, dropping her voice. You don't know him. He's unstable. He wants money. Don't humiliate me. My eyes stay on the page he left. The dates, the banks, the bullet points that don't care about family loyalty. My fingers feel numb, like the blood ran away. Vanessa's smile sharpens. Delete whatever he gave you. And do your job. I fold the paper once, slow, and slide it into my pocket like I'm putting away something dangerous.
I have closings, I say, giving her the version of me she expects. She relaxes half an inch, convinced she just pushed me back into place. She doesn't know I'm already counting minutes until I can get away from her. That night, my studio feels tighter, like the walls have been listening for 12 years and finally leaned in. I sit on the edge of the bed with my shoes still on, the PI page on my knee, and the numbers on it look like a mistake, like money like that belongs to other families. Vanessa's voice keeps looping in my head anyway. Debts, 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 like repetition turns lies into law. I go to my closet, shove aside thrift store blouses, and drag out the plastic storage bin I never open because it hurts. The lid squeaks like it's complaining. Inside, funeral program, old photos, the cheap necklace my mom wore every day, and a manila envelope with my name in my dad's handwriting. My chest tightens so hard I breathe through my mouth. I peel the flop open. The first page is a letter dated 3 weeks before the accident. Leia, it begins. If you are reading this, something has happened to us. My eyes blur.
I wipe my face and keep reading anyway, because I need the truth more than I need comfort. It isn't poetic. It's practical. It lists numbers, like my dad knew exactly what someone would try. $850,000 life insurance, split equally between you and Vanessa. House value, $420,000. Sell and split proceeds. Savings and retirement, approximately $330,000. My fingers shake so hard the paper rattles. Half, not 15,000. Half of everything. There's another sheet. My mom's handwriting. Softer, but firm. Don't let guilt make you small. If Vanessa tries to handle things, ask for paperwork. Love doesn't require secrecy. The refrigerator kicks on with a click, a small mechanical heartbeat in the quiet, and I realize I've been living like a guest in my own life. I think about Vanessa's Paradise Valley house, $2.3 million, according to the listing I saw once when she bragged about equity. I think about her white Porsche. I think about the way she once told me she couldn't reimburse me $20 for office supplies because the budget is tight, then ordered $400 Wagyu at a client dinner and made me process the receipt. My phone is in my hand before I fully decide anything. Theodore's number is on the PI page. My thumb hovers because calling him means choosing a war. Not calling him means choosing a cage.
I hit call. He picks up on the second ring. Leia? I found a letter, I say, and my voice breaks on the word letter like it's a confession. It lists everything. The insurance, the house. It was supposed to be split. A controlled exhale on his end. Then we stop pretending this is a family misunderstanding. My stomach twists. Vanessa will destroy me. She already tried, he says, and there's steel under the grief. She just used paperwork instead of a weapon. I swallow. Tell me what to do. I need you to keep showing up like nothing changed, Theodore says. Stay close enough to see what she touches. Bring anything with numbers on it. I look down at my dad's handwriting. No matter what anyone tells you, you are entitled to half, and my hands stop shaking for the first time all day. I can do that, I say, and it feels like stepping onto a bridge that might hold. Good, Theodore says, because I'm done being buried alive.
The place has cracked vinyl booths and coffee that tastes burned no matter how much cream you drown it in, and the normalness of it makes me feel like I'm doing something illegal just by sitting there. Patricia looks like she wins cases for a living. Charcoal suit, hair pulled back, legal pad already open like a shield. Her eyes don't waste time on small talk. Theodore sets his briefcase on the table and slides her the thick folder. Patricia flips through the investigator's report fast, skimming dates and bank names like she's reading a language I'm still learning. Then she stops. She pulls a document from a clear sleeve and lays it flat between us. A petition filed with the court, stamped, real. Petition for appointment of conservator and guardian. Respondent, Leia Stoner. Allegation, mental incapacitation, unable to manage financial affairs. At the bottom is a signature that tries to be mine and fails. It looks like someone tracing my name from a yearbook photo. That isn't my signature, I say, because saying it out loud feels like grabbing the edge of reality. Patricia taps the court stamp with her pen. It doesn't have to be your signature to ruin you. It's filed. It's on record. That's the point. My mouth goes dry.
How did she do this without me knowing? Because you were 18, grieving, and you trusted your sister, Patricia says, blunt like a slap. And because if she says you're a danger to yourself, the system moves without waiting for you. Theodore's hands tighten around his mug. She forged mine too, he says, voice thick. Patricia slides another page over. A bank authorization signed Theodore Brennan, granting Vanessa access to an account. The signature is wrong in the same way. Close enough to fool a clerk, not close enough to fool the owner. Patricia's eyes cut to me. This isn't just inheritance drama. This is fraud, forgery, and elder exploitation. And the money moved in ways that can turn this federal. My pulse thuds hard enough to make my ears ring. So what now?
Patricia flips her pad to a clean page and writes in big letters, 3 weeks. She says, "We build a criminal package. Not feelings, not she said. Documents, records, screenshots, internal ledgers, emails, anything that proves she moved money under false pretenses." Theodore's hands tighten around his mug. "She forged mine too," he says, voice thick. Patricia slides another page over. A bank authorization signed Theodore Brennan, granting Vanessa access to an account. The signature is wrong in the same way. Close enough to fool a clerk, not close enough to fool the owner. Patricia's eyes cut to me. This isn't just inheritance drama. This is fraud, forgery, and elder exploitation, and the money moved in ways that can turn this federal. My pulse thuds hard enough to make my ears ring. So what now? Patricia flips her pad to a clean page and writes in big letters, 3 weeks. She says, "We build a criminal package. Not feelings, not she said. Documents, records, screenshots, internal ledgers, emails, anything that proves she moved money under false pretenses." Theodore nods once, like he can survive 3 weeks if it means the end is real. Patricia looks at me. "You work inside her office?"
That's access, but it's also risk. I see Vanessa's eyes from yesterday, the flash of animal fear before she smoothed it away. "I can keep my head down," I say. "I'm invisible there." "Then stay invisible," Patricia says. "Do your job, smile, copy quietly. If she senses you, she shreds paper, wipes drives, and moves money before we can touch it." Theodore leans in. "Info asymmetry is your only advantage. She must believe you're still hers." My stomach turns at the word hers because it's true. Patricia closes the folder and slides me a torn-off checklist. Internal transfers, expense reports, wire templates, access logs, vendor lists. At the bottom, she underlines a sentence twice. "Time is the only thing you can't subpoena." I fold the page and tuck it into my bag like a map out of a maze. 3 weeks starts now. Hunt 04. I walk back into Stoner Real Estate with my shoulders loose and my face soft, like my life isn't actively cracking in half. The lobby is already buzzing, agents laughing, phones ringing, that bowl of green apples glowing under recessed lights like a set piece. Vanessa is in the middle of it, diamond ring flashing when she gestures, laughing with an agent in a linen blazer as if yesterday never happened.
On the glass table sits a stack of brochures for a Paradise Valley development, luxury home starting at $2.1 million, with Vanessa's name printed at the bottom, principal broker. She looks up and smiles. "Leia, can you scan the Keegan file today?" "Of course," I say, and the normal sound of my voice scares me more than anger ever did. I log into the office system. It's a patchwork of old software. QuickBooks for expenses, a client database, a shared drive stuffed with transaction folders. Patricia's checklist feels hot inside my bag. I start where I can hide. Expense reports. I export the last 6 months to PDF and save them onto a cheap flash drive I bought with cash at Walgreens, so it won't show up on my bank statement. The numbers jump out like bruises. $12,400 labeled marketing retreat in Cabo, $6,800 client entertainment at a steakhouse, itemized with $400 Wagyu cocktails valet. Then the one that makes my stomach flip. $180,000 coded as office upgrades, paid to LLCs I've never heard of, addresses that trace back to mailbox stores. I don't print a thing. Printers leave trails. I take screenshots and send them to a burner Gmail Patricia made for me called Lease Docs 2026, because invisibility is a strategy. Halfway through, Vanessa's shadow falls across my desk. "What you doing?" she sings. My hands keep moving. Steady. Reconciling vendor invoices. Scanning Keegan. Her perfume hits me. Expensive. familiar, and suddenly suffocating. Her eyes flicked to my monitor. I click once, not too fast, landing on a harmless PDF. She smiles. You're a lifesaver. Then she lowers her voice like she's being kind. About that man yesterday, don't let it get in your head. People like him create drama for attention. I nod, swallowing the urge to spit. Sure. Vanessa taps her nails on my counter, a soft, impatient rhythm. I need you to run a wire this afternoon. 10,000 to... Hold on. She checks her phone. Brennan Family Trust. My pulse spikes so hard I almost cough. Theodore's name sitting in her mouth like it belongs there. I keep my face blank. Okay, same account as usual. Her eyes narrow. Why are you asking questions? Because I don't want to mess up routing numbers, I say, apologetic on purpose. Her suspicion fades into irritation. Yes, same. When she walks away, I open the wire template and scroll through transaction history attached to the account. And there it is. Transfer after transfer labeled gift. $25,000, $30,000, $50,000. Over and over. Clean lines, ugly intent. Total, $200,000. One memo line makes my skin go cold. For Leia's care. I click into attached correspondence and find a scanned letter with Theodore's shaky signature authorizing Vanessa to support Leia's medical needs. Medical needs. She told him I was dead. She told me he was dead. And somehow she still had him funding my care like I was a secret expense. I don't trust the office cameras, so I take photos of the screen with my phone, careful to catch totals, dates, account names, proof, not outrage. My phone buzzes with a text from Patricia. Any transfers? I type back, yes. 200K gifts from Theodore. Memo says my care, sending screenshots. For days, I live two lives with the same face. By day, I'm sweet, efficient. I refill apples. I book Vanessa's blowout appointments when she's too slammed. I laugh at her self-made jokes. I print travel itineraries. I'm useful. By night, I hand Patricia what I copied, expense PDFs, wire histories, authorization letters, like offerings to a truth I can finally touch. Theodore sits in her office sometimes, quiet, briefcase on his knees, eyes going darker every time a new page shows how his money moved. Patricia builds a timeline on her wall with blue tape and index cards. Parents' death, conservatorship petition, insurance payout, house sale, funds routed, then Theodore's gifts disguised as business transactions.
She circles one phrase in red marker. Wire fraud indicators. It feels like watching a noose being tied. It's Thursday afternoon. The lobby is empty, and the conference room glass reflects my own face back at me. Vanessa calls me into her office without a smile. Her workspace is a staged life. White desk, gold accents, a massive photo of the Paradise Valley skyline. On the shelf sits a framed picture of us as kids, grinning like the world couldn't hurt us. It makes my stomach twist. She doesn't offer me a chair. She points to it, granting permission. Sit. I fold my hands so she can't see them shaking. She slides a folder across the desk. Not the manila one, but a glossy, branded folder with silver ink. She thinks presentation can replace the truth. I've been thinking, she says. Her voice is gentle, in a way that makes my skin crawl. You've been distracted lately. I'm fine, I say, keeping my voice light. Vanessa tilts her head, her eyes softening with fake concern. Leia, you've always been the sensitive one. Remember after the accident? You couldn't even handle the phone ringing. You used to freeze. My nails dig into my palm under the desk. She opens the folder and pulls out a spreadsheet with bold headings, debts, liens, payoffs. It looks official enough to fool anyone who wants to be fooled.
You want to know why there wasn't money? She asks, tapping the page. Because there wasn't. I protected you from it. I force my voice to stay small. Protected me? Vanessa leans forward, lowering her voice like she's telling me a secret. If you start repeating what that man says, you're going to embarrass yourself. He's not stable, Leia. He has dementia vibes. He's trying to attach himself to us for a payout. My heart pounds, but my face stays neutral. Then why did you look scared when he walked in? Her smile tightens. Because I don't like being ambushed at work by a stranger with a folder. She slides the spreadsheet closer, then adds, casual as a knife, also, if you're talking to him, you need to tell me. I'm your sister. I handled everything when you were falling apart. I pretend to hesitate, then pick up the page and scan it like I'm considering her story. The paper is too clean, the numbers too round. It smells faintly of fresh toner, like it was made this morning. Vanessa watches my eyes like she's trying to read my thoughts. I choose my words carefully. I just don't remember any of this. That's because you didn't have to, she says, quick. I did. And now you're going to ruin my business because you're mad you don't have what I have. Her voice spikes on the last word, and there it is. Jealousy, not concern. I tilt my head, playing dumb. I'm not trying to ruin anything. Vanessa exhales like she's exhausted by me. Good, then prove it. She pulls out another paper, an acknowledgement that says, I agree I've been fully informed about the estate and have no claims. She's trying to get my signature without calling it what it is. My mouth goes dry. A single beat of quiet fills the room, like even the air conditioning holds its breath. I don't sign things without reading, I say softly. Patricia. I stop myself on the name like it almost slipped, and Vanessa's eyes sharpen instantly. Who? She asks. I force a small laugh. Not a person. I was going to say particularly. I don't sign particularly fast. Vanessa stares at me like she doesn't believe me. Then she smiles again. Too bright. Take it home.
Bring it back tomorrow. I stand, clutching her fake spreadsheet and that acknowledgement page like she just handed me poison in a gift bag. As I reach the door, she says, sweet as syrup, Leia, don't make me choose between my sister and my company. The threat lands soft and heavy all at once, and I nod like I'm afraid. The second I'm back at reception, I slide into the scanner menu, hands steady, and digitize everything. Her fake debt sheet, the acknowledgement page, the metadata that shows it was created this week. I email it to Patricia before my courage can blink. 10 minutes later, Patricia calls, voice tight. She's trying to lock you into her story. Do not sign anything. I won't, I whisper, eyes on Vanessa's closed office door. She's watching me. Then we move, Patricia says. We don't wait for her to clean house. The next day, Vanessa escalates. She corners me by the copier while it spits out listing packets. Where's your flash drive? She asks, too casual. My blood goes cold. What flash drive? She smiles like she's joking, but her eyes aren't. Don't play innocent. You always have one. You're always organized. I need it. The printer's acting up. My brain sprints.
The flash drive is in my tote, buried under my lunch and my wallet. I shrug, letting my shoulders sag like I'm harmless. I don't have one. I email myself stuff. Vanessa steps closer, lowering her voice. Let me see your bag. The copier keeps whirring like nothing matters. My mouth goes dry again. I laugh lightly like she's being silly. Why would you need to look through my bag? Her stare hardens. Because I'm your boss, Leia. I hold her gaze and smile like a cashier. And I'm the one who keeps this place from falling apart. If you want to search my bag, do it in front of everyone. For a split second, her face flickers. Calculation. She doesn't want witnesses. She doesn't want anyone asking why she's shaking down her own office manager. She leans back, smile returning like a mask sliding into place. Forget it. You're being dramatic. Dramatic. The word she uses when she wants reality to feel like my fault. I nod, sweet. I'll tell the printer company. Vanessa walks away like she won, but her shoulders are tight, and I know I'm on her radar now. On day 21, Patricia meets Theodore and me at the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office with a binder so thick it needs a handle. Every page is labeled.
Every screenshot is timestamped. Every transfer is traced like a footprint in wet cement. A detective flips through, pauses at the forged mental incapacitation petition, and lets out a low whistle. Patricia slides the $200,000 transfer summary forward. Elder exploitation, estate theft, and wires. The detective's eyes don't leave the numbers. We can move on this. Patricia looks at me. Once we start, you don't get to pause it. You ready? I picture Vanessa's Porsche out front, her skyline office, her voice saying dramatic, like it's a diagnosis. I sign my witness statement with my real signature. Firm, unmistakable. Patricia closes the binder like a door slamming shut. We filed today. My phone buzzes with a calendar reminder I set weeks ago, a private dare to myself. 2:47 p.m. She won't see it coming. I stare at the time and swallow hard, because the trap is finally set. TRAP-01. Tuesday afternoon at 2:46 p.m., Stoner Real Estate is busy in the way Vanessa loves. Clients in the lobby, agents hustling, phones ringing like the company's a living organism. Vanessa stands near the glass conference room, showing renderings to a couple in matching athleisure, stylus in hand like she's conducting an orchestra. I'm at reception with a stack of closing packets under my hands. They feel heavier than paper.
They feel like alibis. My phone sits face down beside the keyboard. The screen lights up. 2:47 p.m. The front door opens. 2 deputies step in first. Then a man in a suit with a badge clipped to his belt. Patricia follows, expression flat, the binder held against her ribs like it's sacred. The lobby chatter thins like someone pulled oxygen out of the room. Vanessa turns, and her smile holds for one last beat before it collapses. "Can I help you?" she asks, still polished. The suited man steps forward. "Vanessa Stoner?" "Yes," she says, chin lifting. "What is this about?" He holds up papers and reads like he's done it 1,000 times. "You are under arrest for forgery, fraud, and exploitation of a vulnerable adult. Additional charges include falsification of court documents and theft of estate funds." Vanessa laughs, sharp and disbelieving, and looks around like someone will stop this for her. This is ridiculous. Then her eyes snap to me. For a heartbeat, her face is pure rage. Then it turns into calculation, and she tries to pull the old lever. "Leia," she says, voice suddenly soft, almost pleading, like she's summoning the version of me she trained. Tell them this is a mistake." My throat tightens, but my hands don't move. Patricia steps into her line of sight. "It's not a mistake, it's a file." Vanessa's eyes flash. "Who are you?" Patricia doesn't answer her. She opens the binder right there in the lobby and turns it toward the deputy. First page, the forged petition claiming I was mentally incapacitated. Court stamp visible. Next, transfer summaries. Theodore's gifts, memo lines about my care, totals that don't care how charming Vanessa's smile is. Vanessa's pupils tighten when she sees the numbers. Not guilt, panic. She takes one step back.
Those are family matters. The suited man nods once. Not anymore. He reaches for her wrists. Vanessa jerks away. You can't do this in front of my clients! A deputy's voice stays flat. Turn around. Clients back away like she's contagious. Agents pretend to straighten papers, but everyone is watching. Everyone is recording with their eyes. Vanessa's bracelets clink as the cuffs snap shut. A small sound that makes the humiliation real. Her eyes find mine again, and now there's fear under the anger. You did this? She hisses, barely moving her lips. I keep my face still. You did it first. Her mouth opens, excuses lined up like listings, but none of them explain a death certificate with my name on it. The deputies guide her toward the door.
As she passes my desk, her perfume trails behind her. And for the first time in 12 years, it doesn't smell like safety. It smells like a trap I finally walked out of. She lifts her chin, like she's still the boss, like handcuffs are just accessories, until she sees the white Porsche through the glass and realizes the world isn't listening to her anymore. The doors swing open, Arizona sun pouring in too bright to hide anything, and they lead her out anyway. The second Vanessa is gone, the office turns into a shaken anthill. Phones ringing unanswered, agents whispering, someone sobbing in the break room. I stay at reception because my body only knows one way to function: hold the front line. My monitor still shows Vanessa's last email highlighted: run wire today, like she tried to move money one last time before the net closed. Patricia touches my shoulder, quick and grounding. You did what you had to do. Before I can answer, Russell Kerr steps out of the hallway, Vanessa's business partner. Always loafers, always lattes, always acting like numbers just happen around him. Today his face is gray. He stops at my desk and stares at the empty lobby like he just watched a building catch fire.
Is she gone? Arrested, I say, and the word feels like it belongs to someone else's life. Russell swallows hard and leans closer, voice dropping. I need to talk to someone now. Patricia's eyes sharpen. You should talk to your own counsel. He gives a humorless laugh. I don't think a lawyer can unwrite what's in QuickBooks. Patricia doesn't blink, then start talking. Russell digs into his pocket and pulls out a crumpled envelope. He flattens it on my desk like a confession. Inside are copies of expense reports I've never seen because they were kept off my desk. He points to totals highlighted in yellow: $180,000. Fake expenses, he whispers. Vanessa made me approve them. She said it was tax strategy. Patricia's voice turns cold. You submitted false documents to lenders and possibly the IRS. Russell's eyes dart around like the walls have ears. I didn't know it was like this. I didn't know about her. He nods toward me, shame flickering. I thought it was just padding. Patricia leans in. You're either an accomplice or a cooperating witness. That's not me threatening you. That's how this works. Russell's breathing goes shallow. Federal? Patricia nods once. Wires, laundering indicators, yes. Russell fumbles his phone out, hand shaking, and opens a text thread labeled V. He holds it out. Messages pop up in Vanessa's voice. Need $30K to PV Holdings. Mark as staging. Move $12K to Azul Media. Marketing. Don't loop Leah. Seeing my name written like an instruction makes my stomach lurch. Russell looks up, eyes wet. If I give you everything, do I go to prison? Patricia's answer's honest. I can't promise you anything, but cooperation is the only reason you're standing here instead of cuffed. He nods like he's drowning and just found air. Okay.
I'll cooperate. Right there at my desk, he starts forwarding emails to Patricia's secure address. Each sent notification a small pop of betrayal. A deputy approaches with a card. We'll need access to financial systems, the deputy says. Russell flinches, then scribbles admin credentials on a sticky note with a hand that won't stop shaking. Oh, help, he says, voice cracking. Whatever you need. Patricia's eyes meet mine for 1 second, and I can see it. Vanessa's empire isn't collapsing from one arrest. It's collapsing because the people around her are saving themselves. By the end of the day, I hear the words federal investigation spoken out loud in the lobby, and the building suddenly feels like it belongs to the truth.
2 days later, I stand across the street from Vanessa's Paradise Valley house because I can't not see it. Because part of me needs proof the universe can actually take things back. The house is bigger in person. White stucco, sharp angles, desert landscaping arranged like a sculpture, a black gate with a keypad. And right on that gate, taped at eye level, is a bright notice that flutters in the breeze. Federal seizure, case numbers in black ink, cold, official, final. A moving truck idles at the curb while 2 men in work gloves carry out boxes. Art, handbags, electronics. One box tilts and I catch a glimpse of a framed photo. Vanessa beside the Porsche, smiling like she owns the sun. A government inventory agent stands on the driveway with a clipboard, checking off items with a pen that doesn't care who cried to buy them. Then the garage opens and the white Porsche rolls out, except it isn't Vanessa driving. It's a tow truck operator. The Cayenne is hooked and lifted, wheels locked, helpless for the first time. Chains clink loud in the quiet neighborhood, and a neighbor watches from behind blinds, curiosity disguised as caution. I step closer, just enough to see a tow tag on the windshield, asset ID, barcode, evidence.
The paint still gleams like it's trying to seduce someone, but the context is different now. It isn't a trophy, it's proof. My phone buzzes with a text from Theodore. They served seizure orders, house and vehicles included. I type back, I'm here, I see it. The tow truck rolls forward and the Porsche follows, obedient and silent. And I feel something I didn't expect. Emptiness instead of joy, because none of this gives me back the years I spent counting pennies while she lived inside stolen comfort. But it does give me one thing: confirmation she was never untouchable. 3 months later, I sit in a federal courtroom with Theodore on one side and Patricia on the other. The benches are hard, the air over-conditioned, and the court seal on the wall stares down like a warning nobody can charm. Vanessa sits at the defense table in a beige suit meant to look modest, and it fails. Her hair is flatter, her face is thinner, but she holds her posture like she's still standing in a listing photo, chin up, eyes scanning like she's appraising the room. When she sees me, her mouth tightens. Not apology, not regret, anger that I'm still alive. The prosecutor stands and starts counting like he's reading inventory. 23 counts, he says. Wire fraud, money laundering,
Forgery, elder financial exploitation. 23. The number lands like a lock clicking shut. Patricia opens a binder in front of us, tabs labeled petition, transfers, expenses, emails, evidence stacked like bricks. Vanessa's attorney tries charm first. Entrepreneurship, stress, family burden. He gestures toward Vanessa like she's a caretaker who made paperwork mistakes. Then the prosecutor puts the forged conservatorship petition on the screen. My name, mental incapacitation, the fake signature. Vanessa's eyes flick away, jaw clenched so tight it looks painful. Next comes the money trail. Theodore's $200,000 in gifts with memo lines about my care, then the investigator's report, then the fake death certificate, then the memorial card with my face on it. The courtroom goes quiet except for the projector's click and the court reporter's keys hammering everything into permanent record. Vanessa's attorney objects. The judge overrules, again and again, because paper doesn't care how persuasive you are. The prosecutor calls Russell Kerr. Russell looks smaller than I remember, shoulders hunched like he wants to disappear into his own suit. He testifies about the $180,000 fake expenses, the shell LLCs, the laundering through marketing and staging. He reads Vanessa's text out loud, including the one that says, "Don't loop Leia." My stomach twists, but I keep my eyes forward because flinching is what Vanessa trained me to do.
Then Theodore takes the stand. He grips the rail, knuckles pale, and looks straight at Vanessa like he's trying to understand how someone could do this with a steady hand. "I buried my granddaughter," he says, voice shaking but loud enough to cut through the room, "because you told me she was dead. And while I mourned her, you asked me for money to take care of her. You stole from my grief." Vanessa's mask cracks. Her eyes shine, but it isn't remorse. It's fury at being exposed. At sentencing, Vanessa stands like she's pitching herself. "I did what I had to do," she says. "I kept the business afloat. I supported Leia." Patricia stands. She supported Leia with poverty and lies. The judge looks down at the files, the totals, the counts, the impact statements, and his face doesn't soften. "Vanessa Stoner," he says, "you didn't make a mistake. You built a strategy." Then he drops the number like a stone. 27 years in federal prison. Vanessa's knees buckle just slightly, and she catches herself on the table edge, eyes wide with the kind of shock you only feel when you finally learn consequences are real. Not because she's sorry, because she lost. The judge said 27 years, and Vanessa's face went slack. Her accounts were frozen, the Cayenne and the $2.3 million house already seized, and Principal Groker stopped being a title and started being evidence. A clerk handed me the restitution order, $940,000. My name spelled right. Vanessa craned around in shackles for someone to catch her eye. Theodore stared at the floor, and I did too, as they walked her out.